Hello, everybody. Welcome to World 101 Podcast. I'm your host, ADV. Joining me is my good friend, the Big Papa himself, the Red Velvet Cake, Mr. Larry Giver.
Box up, fools!
Oh, I love you so much. I just can't help it.
Okay, show's over. Go home.
No. We have a great show because our show's completely with everything that we want to talk about. Everybody, we're doing a round table of randomness. So any topic is on the table and we can talk about anything and everything. I kind of want to start this, or do you want to start?
Let's start with the obligatory. What have you been playing this week?
Oh, what I've been playing? I just finished Titanfall 2. My review will be up. I'm still waiting for the score to be approved, I should say. But at this time, I am working on. I did finish that game, and literally, I think it's probably the best FPS shooter of 2016, and that's saying a lot. I know Call of Duty Infinite Warfare just came out. Battlefield 1 has been out. I know Doom has been out since May. But this one, Titanfall 2, it snatches all the wigs. Like, it should get every award that it deserves, hopefully at the Game of the Year. Depending on, what you read and who you, listen to. For me, it's the high on my list of, nominees for Game of the Year. And if it does win, this would be the first third-party game, non-Nintendo, that have taken Game of the Year from me. And that's huge.
So, what makes it that spectacular for you?
Oh my goodness, where do I even begin? I really don't want to say, I really don't want to say much because of the review, but the gameplay, the dialogue, the story, the relationship between your Titan and you as a player is amazing. It's so breathtaking and so relaxing, and it left me speechless. Like, the game wanted me to be like, you know what, you need to replay this because you're missing some things. And I was just like, yeah, I want to replay this. All the guns in the game feel great. Like, they feel useful. Like, it to me, it's hard to pick on what is my favorite gun. The music is, of course, is good. Larry, I feel like I need to send you this game, and you need to hear this on your soundbar.
Yeah.
And the sounds of the guns, it's just, oh my goodness, sounds really good. Just like hearing that in stereo, you're gonna be like, oh my goodness, they really studied this. I love this. I love their sniper scope. They, getting headshots. It's beautiful.
So how is the story, in a game where the debut game had no story?
This one, the story is very sci-fi, but it's so action-packed.
I would fucking hope so. You've got giant robots.
Yeah, but I mean, it deals kind of with, there was kind of like there was a war going on, but there was kind of something peaceful going on. But while you training, you get interrupted that one of your team that's on this planet Typhon is on, gets attacked. So you need to go find out why your team got attacked and stuff. And then one of the commanders
get attacked. Would be a story for the game.
Well, what you say?
So because if they didn't get attacked, there wouldn't be a reason for the game.
Pretty much, yeah. But when you find out they're getting attacked, because you're in a training mode, because your thing is like you really want to be a pilot for a Titan, and in the course of you learning and getting trained and stuff, that this war is happening, like your people in your army is getting like crucified, like straight getting killed, and you kind of get there, and you see a lot of stuff going on, and you find out who the kind of these enemies are, and trying to figure out what's going on. and you just go throughout the mission, fighting different titans, fighting different enemies, and you're jumping around, running consistent. Like, you have to move. If you don't move, you're going to die. It feels, and it lets you know that you're going to die. So you need to wall run, jump, double jump, slide like you're playing Vanquish, shoot at them like it feels like they study Metroid Prime.
You send it to me and I will. I'll dink around with it.
Okay. Like it's so good, and hopefully you guys be able to see my review on Team Nerd. That's coming soon.
Post it on our page where you should be posting it.
Well, yeah, but I had to record the audio part before I'm able to post the actual review for it, like word review. But this one is really good. I know people are just like, well, that doesn't sound convincing. Trust me, it's a game that you have to put into your hands and you have to play. So, I should be able to send it to you, Larry. I kind of need to go get some pilot helmets. But it'll probably be on this way to Indiana, probably by the end of the week. So,
right on.
So you could try it. I'm also doing, my 40 Days of Destiny. So, by the time this, you guys hear this episode, I will have that journal up. So check out World 11 Podcast. Check our Facebook page, and you guys will see the link for the first week of my journal and my thoughts about it. I'm kind of far than where I'm at. And the thing about it is, for 40 days, I'm playing Destiny and, journaling what my experience is. And I'm trying to do 2 hours every time that I play the game. So I just letting you guys know that, so when you read, you guys can follow along. And the thing is that because I started this in the 1st of November, last Tuesday, the first week is going from Tuesday to Saturday. But the rest of the blogs are going to be Sunday to Saturday, and you'll be able to check them on our World 11 Facebook page every Sunday. So you guys do check that out. Other than that, Phoenix Wright almost on the last case, and I'm going to go pick up Call of Duty Infinite Warfare to compare it with my good friend Kyle. He's playing the PS4 version. I'm going to be playing the Xbox One version. I heard good things about it, but I haven't seen the sales for it just yet. So, other than that, that's what I've been on. What about you, Larry?
Well, like we were talking about before, I'm sinking into Recore, which there's some things we need to talk about with that. So we'll save that for a little bit deeper into this. I've been dinking around with some Left 4 Dead 2 again, off and on, and also been screwing around with Michael Bay's Ridge Racer, though for some reason I think I got some weird defect copy because it says split second on the cover.
I can't believe that you're playing that game. Oh, did you read the
news? I
love
Split Second. Split Second's fun. It's got problems, but it's stupid fun.
Before we get to that, did you read the news that Turtle Rock dropped the lost episode of Left 4 Dead 1?
I did. I saw that today, actually, and I'm a little sad that that's PC only.
Okay. That's what I was going to ask you. I'm like, was it for consoles? Because I didn't. I read
there's
the story,
no way in hell to bother putting that out on anything other than PC at this point.
But Split Second, I remember that game.
Split Second was a ton of fun.
Yeah.
It wasn't all that intelligent by any stretch of the imagination, but it was fun. Like, I feel like the guys that did Split Second need to talk to High Moon Studios for when they do another Transformers game, because we need like some of that collaboration, because they figured out how to make car racing into an action movie, and that's exactly it. Like, there needs to be some sections in the Transformers games that are like that. Like, there's parts of that game where you're not racing anybody, but you're just running from helicopters that are shooting fucking rockets at you.
I seen that. My friend, he had Split Second playing it, and I was just like, "What is
awesome.
this?"
It's fucking awesome. Everything blows up. Nothing to bitch about. Like I said, it's got some problems in terms of when it decides you've run into a wall at the exact right angle to qualify as a crash. You look and go, that's kind of bullshit, but for what it is, it's dumb fun. It's like Michael Bay's Mario Kart.
I love how you say it was Michael Bay's Ridge Racer, and I'm just like, wait,
it is
that, and how does that look?
It's a car game.
Yeah,
it's not a super deep car game. It's about as deep as Ridge Racer ever went. Pick a car, pick a track, go. You just now have the added component of the fact that you've got, everything that blows up. They've got some neat modes. There's some straight race modes where everything blows up. There's ones where, like I said, you're getting chased by the helicopters, and there's others where you've got, like, these huge big rigs that are dropping barrels that explode behind them. You got to sit there and race past them and shit like that. But, it's enjoyable all the same, just on its own merits. I'm trying to think if I've played with anything else this week. I finished Ori and the Blind Forest. It was either this week or last week, and I don't remember if I talked about it, but it's spectacular. With the only gripe that I have is something that's already been talked about in all the reviews. That's the fact that at the end of that game, you can't go back and just play around and find all the hidden stuff that you missed.
Yeah, you have to do it.
So you kind of get locked into it, and it doesn't let you play around afterwards. So, which is a shame, but if that's the worst thing that game did, then it's not really that bad. So it still is a must play. But yeah, that's what's been on my plate to play lately.
All right, awesome.
Oh, there's been some Castle Crashers too. And I think some Shadow Complex snuck in there somewhere.
Which I need to finish on the one. I might have to rebuy Castle Crashers for Xbox One. Because my friend got my PS3 still.
Get the remaster.
I know.
You can transfer all your data into the remaster as well, which is fucking great.
But see,
I spent way too much time leveling shit up in that game to not do that.
But see, of course, since I have it on PS3, I really don't want to buy it on PS4. But if I have to, I'll just do that. But yeah. So, I forgot to ask you, because while you was talking about Split Second, I was thinking about, have you ever played Burnout Takedown?
Yes. I like Burnout games when they had the crash modes. They were fun.
Why can they not bring that back?
I don't know. That boggles me that series died.
That game is so fun. There's something about just wrecking cars and doing it in slow motion.
And there is. And Split Second plays to a lot of that too. You see a lot of like the power plays where you're blowing people up, in slow-mo, and on occasion they'll give you like the replay options. I love the fact too that it's not a fixed course. There are points where, if you're carrying enough juice, you can actually like do course-altering power plays where like you can drop an air traffic control tower on a course, and it blocks off the old portion of the course and sets you guys on a new portion of the course. There's stuff like that in every track, which is fucking awesome. It puts some variety into it. Not a huge amount, but just enough to keep it from being the exact same thing every time.
Nice. I didn't get a chance to play Split Second, but I know my friend has it still. He still has his PS3. I'm probably going to have to go over there and play it with him.
Get your hands on it. And it's not super expensive, but for some godforsaken reason, it is like way hard to come across a copy. When you do, you won't spend much on it, but you're going to have a bitch of a time trying to find it.
That might be true. Because I think
it took like a year and a half to find another copy of that.
Really?
Seriously. Like, why is this so difficult?
Probably, did the developer go out of business?
No idea. I don't even remember who the hell developed it. Couldn't tell you.
Split Second.
But I know that came out around the time that Blur came out, and I think it just got overshadowed by Blur.
But garbage.
Between the two, I liked Split Second better.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, we was talking about Blur, how that was supposed to be the Mario Kart killer. Then they went out of business, and Mario Kart.
Yes. Well, you can only go so out of business when you're done by Disney Interactive.
That issue. Split Second Velocity. I think that's the name. Yeah, Split Second Velocity.
It's just Split Second. Oh, Velocity. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Black Rock Studios.
Was it?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, because this came out in North America May 18th, 2010.
Okay. Yeah, nope. Split Second was fun. Go play it. Find a copy. Not expensive. Just gotta look for it.
Oh, wow. Yeah, the sequel even got canceled.
Which makes me more sad.
Yeah. Oh well. Yeah, so it got a lot of positive reviews.
That's because it was fun. It had problems, but it was fun.
Well,
that's all that I needed.
I think that's what I like about some of the arcade racing games. They're just like straight fun, and they do something crazy and not too hard to handle and stuff. I like things like that.
Exactly. That's why I'll still play Ridge Racer.
Ridge Racer.
Yep. I will still play Ridge Racer.
Maybe that's why.
I'll still open up Ridge Racer 6 on my 360. It's still fun to me.
Oh, wow. I remember
that and Ridge Racer on the original DS was a lot of fun. The handling on it was so ridiculous that you could get away with most anything, and it was just awesome for that fact.
It's weird because I remember Ridge Racer being kind of like almost a Sony exclusive. Like that was the racing game on PlayStation when it first came out.
Well, and it wasn't Sony exclusive though. I mean, that was, if I remember right, there was a Ridge Racer that was on N64 as well. I may be completely off my nut here, but I'm almost certain there was. But that's showed up on like everything at this point. But it did start with like the PS1, and that was a big run series for them, much like Wipeout was. And then then Ridge Racer went everywhere.
Still to this day, Wipeout is one of. I love F-Zero, like we have had, and everybody check out our past episode about racing games that Larry hosted. Very good episode, very great discussion. Yes, it's Recore, everybody.
Sorry, I'm playing Recore right now, and I'm getting really pissed off.
Okay. Yes, so listen to the episode. Let us talk and hear us talk about like F-Zero, Fast Racing Neo, which is still an amazing game.
Futuristic racing games, always awesome.
Yes, but Recore. So I gave it a 7. I'm not saying it was a bad game. It has a lot of problems, and
no shit.
and Larry is playing it right now. So let's talk a little bit of the problems that you are having, and I could answer.
So I'm going to first start with the fact that I'm playing this, and I've discovered something about the Xbox One that I really like. It's nothing to do with the game itself. It's everything to do with the controller. But I'm discovering the joy of the fact that the controller, the trigger itself, has its own independent vibrational feedback. And that makes me kind of happy. Because I'm sitting there, shooting the rifle, and I can feel it specifically in the trigger. Like, not in the handle of the controller, just the trigger. I'm like, that's neat. I like that.
Yeah.
That's cool. So, again, nothing to do with Recore specifically, but, it's a thing. And this is the first game that I played on my Xbox One that has that, and so I'm enjoying that fact. Recore has issues. I'm going to start with the writing because holy shit. It's not an atrocious story by any means. It's not. But there's some serious problems here in this writing that needs to be talked about. Let's start with the fact that Jewel, which, god damn it, why do they have to call her Jewel and spell it like the unit of energy? Really?
Joel.
Why? If you're going to call her Jewel, spell it the right way, like a fucking jewel. But, minute detail. In any case, I take issue with the fact, starting, that Jewel can understand whatever the hell it is that the dog and the spider and everybody else can say, but I can't. If she can understand it, why do I have to hear it in gibberish? Tell me what the dog is saying. I want to hear it from the dog. Give the dog more personality that way. That's interesting to me.
And
not to mention,
and you can't find no kind of. I don't think there's like any kind of encryptions or codes and stuff to decipher what they're saying.
No, you may as well have just made them mute characters, for God's sakes. On top of that, Violet, who has these long sections of dialogue. They even have like audio journals for Violet, but you can't understand a damn thing that she says because it's all in this fucking robot gibberish. And I'm like, no, fuck you.
And
secondly.
And it is crazy because Violet is kind of a cool character. I kind of like the design. Like, he's kind of...
Oh, I like Violet. Violet is Recore's claptrap.
Yes.
Plain and simple. I like Violet. I want to hear what Violet is saying, though. If you're going to give Violet big sections of dialogue, let me hear what the fuck she's saying. But on top of that, let's get to the crux of the real problem here. Why the fuck did they not just call this game Recore Legend of the Lost AA Batteries? Because you're spending half the game looking for these stupid little core bots, cell bots. They're nothing more than batteries with the personality of a minion. They're not terribly bright, but they are sentient. And why the fuck did you make a sentient battery? The core bots don't have sentient batteries. The core bots are sentient, but they're run on energy. That's fine. Why do the power packs have to be sentient? This is stupid. You just gave them an excuse to run off and not do their job when they're having a sad day. Really? Why do you want to deal with that? No. Somebody was an idiot.
But it's the Legend of Zelda-esque dungeons and explorations and
Give me a better excuse than the battery got scared and ran away. No. So help me God, if we ever start getting to a point in humanity where our batteries have feelings, I'm going to fucking kill everybody. That's bullshit. Okay. You got one job. You don't need to have a personality for it. You just need to do your one job, and that's make something work.
That is true.
Dumbest thing ever.
Now, how many bots do you have? Do you have, or are you just still starting out?
I got Mac and I got Seth, and for anybody that hasn't played it yet, Mac is the dog and Seth is the spider.
I kind of love Seth when he's transferring you and you jumping everywhere and click it. I kind of like that.
God, yes, it's great fun. And even my wife, who was sitting here watching me play that section of the game, is like, this reminds me a lot of Metroid Prime. I'm like, oh, it's got their fingerprints all over it.
Yeah.
Because right there, they took the literal definition of the spider ball track and just dropped the word ball and made it spider track. And it does the exact same thing. I will say, I like the little bit of personality that they've given Seth so far. He doesn't seem to have nearly as much as Mac does, but the little bits that he does have amuse me. Like, Mac's a great climber. He's terrified of heights. That's funny to me. It's stupid, but it makes me laugh.
Yeah.
So, and on top of that, I don't know what it is. I can't quite put my thumb on it, but the way that Seth looks, his face, that round head thing, he genuinely looks scared all the time.
And when you first meet him, he is kind of scared.
Yeah. No, that's part of his personality. He's got the yellow core. He's supposed to be one of the fearful ones.
Yeah.
Because they talk about the different core bots with the different color cores having different personality traits. Like, one's supposed to be brave, and another's supposed to be cheerful, and another's supposed to be fearful. And that's Seth, is the little scaredy bot. He's fearful. And for some reason, just the arrangement of, like, the little ports and lights on his head give that exact correct look of a scared spider. And it's kind of adorable.
Which is weird, because people are afraid of spiders.
I know, but somehow Seth is adorable, and I like Seth.
Yeah, I do too. There's something about him when in the cutscene when you first meet him, and the guy, it's just like, oh my goodness, I love you. And like I somehow, for some unknown reason, I could see Recore as an animated movie.
And honestly, part of me is almost thinking that it would have been better that way. You know, like, get the guys that did Titan AE, you know, this, and let them go fucking hog wild, because it's clearly in their ballpark.
Yeah.
You know, I'm still not sure that I'm nuts about a lot of the aesthetic in this game, though, because every time I'm looking at it, I keep just going, why am I not playing Borderlands? Because so much of this game is somewhere between Metroid Prime and Borderlands.
Well, definitely with the color coding, it's straight Metroid.
Yeah, and that's another thing that pisses me off, because that shit's just lazy. Really? All you could come up with was colors? That's it? Jeez, at least call it something cool. They're different types of energy wavelengths or something. Instead, it's just colors. And I'm entirely let down by the lack of creativity in that. For God's sakes. One of them could have been an FM radio beam, for all I care. Yeah. And it would have been more interesting than, oh, it's a blue gun.
Well, I do have to say that I sometimes have to kind of like stop shooting to switch stop moving Joel to get to the color that I need. But then I gotta switch it again because another color is attacking me. It's like one of the problems that I definitely had, besides the loading times, was the auto attacking. I mean, auto lock on. It's just like if I'm fighting a blue enemy and the red enemy gets close and jumps in, it switches to the red. And because I'm shooting him with the blue one, the shots are doing less damage. I have to get to the red gun. Well, the red thing is like on the other side of the control pad. And I'm just like, well, I'm trying to jump and move and not get attacked by the 55 other enemies I have to deal with.
Yeah, I don't think that the auto lock bothers me all that terribly much, for the simple fact that this feels kind of right at home to me in the fact that I played a lot of Advent Rising that used that flick targeting mechanic. And honestly, Advent was kind of one of the first games that did that. I liked it. It worked well in Advent. Granted, Advent wasn't dealing with the weapon switching mechanic like you are here, but all the same, it was still there, and it helps kind of put you at home in that mentality of this is how your targeting works. I'll grant you too, the weapon switching worked in Metroid Prime. I don't feel that it works nearly as well here, like you said, because unlike Prime, the pacing here is a lot faster.
Yes. Especially
when you're in the middle of what I'm trying to trudge through at this exact moment. Fuck this fight. And that's another thing. This arena thing is bullshit. I'm walking into a room. It's a great big room. It's this huge, hangar bay thing. And the giant evil robot crawls out of the ground, and suddenly, instead of having this whole room, which somebody in level design said, we should design this whole room, somebody in gameplay said, yeah, but we only want you to fight in this circle, so we're going to cut you off from the rest of this room and make it far less interesting, and just a lot more of a pain in the ass, and unbalanced. And it boggles my mind why anybody did that. Because seriously, it doesn't do that, primarily out in the middle of nowhere in the overmap. But I'm sitting here in a dungeon, and I'm cut off from the rest of the room. Instead of having a whole room to work with, I'm getting just limited to this little fucking circle that's less than half the size of this room for this huge fight where they keep dropping in more and more enemies on me. And on top of that, just make the problem worse, is that these enemies are going to sit here and corner me into a spot where I cannot get out. I cannot stop taking damage until I'm dead. And especially with the stupid yellow shields, that's bullshit. They're clustering everything way too densely together to make it impossible to be reasonable. And it's absolutely infuriating. That being said, the rest of the story's not terrible aside from some stupid caveats that were made just, as an excuse for certain fetch quest things. But, and again, I'm going to beg to differ with you here. It's not Zelda, because Zelda had puzzles. This has fetch quest. There's a difference.
Well, I think the dungeons, Zelda-esque, I should say, with the dungeons and stuff. And I know it has challenges and things.
Even then, there aren't all that puzzle heavy. There's still more fetch quest geared.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it did come out as a budget title. Well, $39.99. Do you? And I said that if you
I think
games
the
like
$3
this,
is reasonable for it for a couple reasons, and we've talked about this.
Yes.
One, it's new IP. Don't ask me to spend $60 on your new IP that I've never played before. Don't sit there and try and tell me that this is worth full value when I have no point of reference for it yet. They did a smart thing by making it $40, not $60. That was one of the smartest things they could have done in terms of getting their game out the door and getting sales. I absolutely agree with that 110 fucking %. Where is my fucking spider? Anyways, so, and there needs to be way more of that happening in the marketplace space. Oh, this is bullshit. Do not put me in that corner. But I hope we see more of that. I also hope we see more new IPs as well, because that seems to be a dwindling thing again. I don't feel like there's any real big push to put new IPs out, out in the space like there was at one point. And I'm glad that things like Recore exist, because it's somebody going, yeah, we don't just want to, do another one of this. We want to do something new, and we probably won't get it exactly right the first time, but if you buy it and you play it and you tell us which part you liked and which you didn't, then we can make another one that has more of the parts that you liked and less of the parts that you didn't like, and maybe some new things that we can experiment with too. And I'm perfectly okay with that. That makes me absolutely happy.
Yeah,
that's part of the reason why I like Mirror's Edge. Mirror's Edge was not by means a perfect game, but it was a new IP. They played around with some new ideas. They got some things right. They got some things terribly wrong. But I was perfectly okay with it because it wasn't just rehashing the same thing over and over again.
And I would love a Recore too. I would love them, like you said, fix the problems that were in the game, or get rid of some of the ideas that didn't work. Keep the stuff that did work and perfect and improve on it. And kind of, I probably would say this, kind of change, like add more guns, add more different attacks, and add more robots and stuff. Like
that's another thing. I'm looking at some of the artwork, and this is the other thing I can't shake either. We're coming back to that thought, but before I lose it, a lot of times I'm looking at this architecture and some of the feel, and I can't shake the feeling of Dead Space just a little bit. And I know it's weird, and it's probably just my brain making some bizarre, obscure connection, but for some reason, bits of this make me go, I kind of want to play Dead Space now.
Well, isn't it backwards compatible now, I think?
I think so. But get to your thing, and then Dead Space will take us into another topic we're talking about today.
Well, I I think Friday. Yeah, Friday I watched the movie Kingsglaive for Final Fantasy 15, and this is kind of telling the story, kind of like the prequel, telling the story on how Final Fantasy 15 is actually supposed to start. And
Why did Final Fantasy 15 start the way it was supposed to start?
oh shoot, exactly. You are
Why
spot on.
need a movie?
You are so spot on up with that. This is the third Final Fantasy movie in the whole series. Final Fantasy Spirits Within is the first one. Final Fantasy
Advent Children.
Advent Children is the second, and this one is the third. And before I get into just my thoughts about this movie, whoever did the editing to this movie needs to be fired and shot. Or smacked around.
Which part of the editing?
All of it.
Like story, sound, visual?
All of it. Like, I mean, the animation is great. The animation is fine. But they do these fade out to blacks and then cut into something else, and you don't know why. And they keep fading out to black, fading out to black, fading. I'm like, you don't need this fade out to black. This is not a TV made movie. This is like a movie. Just cut the scene to the next scene. Like, why was all the fading needed? There was no need for it. And they kept doing it over and over.
Somebody thinks dramatic.
Yeah. The story is super boring.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, I'm watching a good animation and gets good voice acting, but this story is beyond terrible. Because at times you don't know what's going on. You're just like, okay, what is this war? You seen people trying to react to something, like trying to do like yells and have a crowd, but all the people all in the audience is just looking at the king like, who are you? Like, there's no animation or emotion in the characters, and I'm just like, this is weird.
So Final Fantasy is doing a Final Fantasy thing and trying to give you the feels, except they forgot to lay any groundwork to give you any connection to anybody that would give you the feels.
Right. And I guess it's about this crystal being stole, and this king, he has this power with him, or this ring, that only, because he's part of the bloodline, only he has the power to have people who serve him do certain magic. So he is He-Man because by the power of Grayskull, he has the power. Yes, pretty much. And the princess and Noctis, they're bloodlines, so that's why they could do. That's why when you see some of the stuff that Noctis could do in the actual game, you see some of that in the movie. But like,
do you know what Noctis's full name is? Noctis's full name was Knock This Chick Up.
Oh, wow. Just wow.
Knock this chick up.
But I mean, it's something that I would not spend to buy. Like, it's just I would buy it if it comes like to $12.99 or $14.99 for Black Friday, and you just want something pretty to look at, kind of like Final Fantasy Advent Children and Spirits Within.
So that's the thing. If I wanted something pretty to look at, I'd go back to those two. I don't need another one.
Well, I mean, I think Kingsglaive needs to be seen for those who are planning to get Final Fantasy 15. Like, I'm planning to get that game. I'm still deciding on which system to get it for, so I'm waiting for the reviews for that. But this movie is so bizarre and edited horribly, and the story is confusing. I mean, the voice acting is great. don't get me wrong. The voice acting and the animation is superb. Like it
You
really
described
was good.
every Final Fantasy game, though.
Well, yeah, but I mean, the production value for Kingsglaive is like kind of is really top notch. It really, really is good. And so the voice acting is good also. A little bit of the fights are okay, but it's so confusing that you just sit there and you watch and you just like, I'm eating a fish fillet and that's more interesting than what's going on the scene.
So basically, it's a thing that didn't need to happen, but it happened anyways.
I mean, it needed to happen, and I'm glad that it did happen. I just wish that it was better organized and well told.
So from what you said, I haven't heard any reason why it needed to happen, other than somebody wanted to make some more money.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's beautiful. I think because of the trailer, when you first see the trailer, it looks interesting. But then when you start watching the actual movie, you're like, wait, what just happened? Wait, how did y'all wait, why this editing? Why was this fade out? Like, are you guys going? Because I watched it on my PlayStation 4, and I'm thinking that they're going to commercials to advertise Final Fantasy 15. That's how it would look like. Like I'm like, this is not a Lifetime movie. Why is all this TV movie editing is happening in this? This doesn't make no sense.
Oh God. Maybe I can only fathom that maybe they designed that with that in mind going forward.
And to let everybody know that this is 2 hours.
That was more like it's 2 hours of your life you're never getting back.
There's been worse. And it's called Grand Theft Auto 5. But, yeah, if I say rent it if you're interested. If you like good animation, you already got the other 2 movies, and you're a big fan of Final Fantasy. I guess add it to your collection, but I say wait for a sale. And this is another thing, I couldn't find it even at stores. Like, I looked at Target and couldn't find it. So, and I don't know if Best Buy or Walmart has it, but it's out on Blu-ray.
Advent Children wasn't all that readily available when it came out either, truth be told.
I think I seen that on DVD though.
Yeah, I mean, you could get it on DVD, but you had to know exactly where to look for it when it came out. It wasn't dropping everywhere like a regular DVD would.
Well, that's my thoughts on it. If I had to give it a score, because we all have our own review scores. I know probably from Larry's thing, it's probably a budget price movie. To watch on not Halloween, watch on Thanksgiving or something. I mean, it's worth the rental. So I guess 3 out of 5 Yoshi coins. That's because I can't give it 2 because like I said, the production value and the voice acting, and I kind of like some of the characters, and I like the king is cool, the main character is cool, I like him. It's just there's just some problems with it, and the music is fantastic, of course, because it's Final Fantasy.
Basically, they just couldn't put together a fucking story.
Yes, pretty much yes. So
all right. That kind of sums that up real well, then.
Yeah, so we're going to move on to what Larry wants to talk about, because he has 2 interesting topics. Then after that, we're going to head on out. So this would be a really good discussion.
So, first of all, I'm totally about to wave the bitch finger at Microsoft, because I spent better than 2 hours on the phone today with their fucking customer support and got a bunch of bullshit from them. As some of you know, and as one person in particular knows because he was very kind in giving it to me, I've got an Xbox One in my house now, and it's awesome. I'm having a great fucking time with it. And, I've had a Microsoft account or an Xbox, Live account forever and a fucking day, but I haven't really, paid for gold in forever because I don't play shit online multiplayer. It irritates me, and I don't do it. So, but that being said, I thought, you know what? There's this ad on my dashboard on my Xbox One here. It says, free month of Live Gold. I'm like, you know what? I'll pick it up and I'll dick around with it and decide if I really, if maybe I want to get back into, some of the stuff that Live Gold has to offer. And instead, it just runs me around and around in this circle. It won't let me collect my month of, free Live Gold. And I've read the fine print. I work in insurance. I read the fine print on shit. And nothing here says that I'm excluded from this offer. And so I called Microsoft's customer support, and after being on the phone for like 45 fucking minutes with this guy, he says that, well, you're excluded because back in 2008, you got a 1 month free trial, and it's a once, per gamer tag lifetime offer. And I'm sitting here thinking, why the fuck did you guys send it to my dashboard? But, and again, he says, well, it's stipulated here, and he says, I'll send you the link because it's somewhere on the website. And he sends me 2 links, and I look through all of it, and it's not fucking there. So I call him back, and I'm like, all right, this is fucking shenanigans. You guys sent me the fucking offer. You should probably be, obliged to uphold said offer and give me a month of Live for free. And I still get more runaround for like another 45 minutes plus at this point, because like I said, I think the whole thing equated to about 2 hours on the phone. And I'm like, seriously? You guys are that uptight, that you won't just shell to make your customer happy? You're the ones that fucked up and put the offer there, and then you say you can't have it. So, that one right pissed me off, and fuck you, Microsoft. Or more specifically, fuck your customer support. Because clearly you guys do not know the mechanics of doing decent business. So, in addition, you guys are big enough that you should be able to control which ads go to certain people's dashboards, because if it's not applicable to me, don't send it to me. Like, here's an offer for a free month of gold. But you can't have it, because you had it like 6 years ago.
That's so weird.
It's fucking stupid. And it was totally handled by their customer support division. Like, seriously, I don't get a whole lot of leeway in, what I can do for people at work, because I'm in insurance. Insurance is a regulated industry. There are laws in place about what we can and cannot do.
Correct.
And, this, however, not so much. This is stupid advertising on your fault. You fucked up. It costs you $10 or less to just own it and make somebody happy. And you couldn't fucking do that. I'm way sad at that kind of customer support. I am. So, that's my tirade about Microsoft and their customer support or lack thereof. On a happier note, I've been dinking around with the Castle Crashers remaster, and for a long time I've been looking at remasters and whatnot and going, why? Because it feels like a cash-in that's just completely unnecessary, because the original still holds up, and I can't justify it, in a lot of cases. However, having played with the Castle Crashers remaster, it looks great. It does. A lot of the animation feels a lot smoother. The original still holds up really well. It's a lot of fun.
Yes.
But somehow, somewhere here, it feels crisper, it feels cleaner. And I can totally justify it. And again, it's not a big expense either. That's another thing too. If you're doing remasters, for God's sakes, do not release these things as full price. And that brings me to another point. If you're going to do remasters and you want to charge full price, better be more than one game in there. Some of the collections are great, and I wish that there was actually a few more of them. I'm a little bamboozled, and some of you may have seen Microsoft was doling out free copies of Borderlands: The Handsome Collection over the last week or so.
Yeah.
posted it on our Facebook page, so I hope you guys all grab that. Enjoy some free games on the house. But in any case, it's a nice collection. It's Borderlands 2 and Borderlands the pre-sequel. I'm still scratching my head, though, as to why the original Borderlands is not in there.
Yeah, and I asked that, and someone said probably because it's been two different engines. But I'm just like, but Borderlands 2 looks like Borderlands 1, just cleaner and crispier. Like, how did they switch engines?
I don't know, and they could have, but it doesn't mean that they couldn't have, redone that up too, and just brought them all onto the same thing. I'm sure it was workable.
Well,
but
I think they were just like, well, they want to tell the story to have the Handsome Jack story together. But I'm just like, well, that doesn't make sense because you put out a sequel, and then you put out a pre-sequel to me personally, to make some extra cash to connect the two. That doesn't make sense. I'm like, why is your pre-sequel coming out, a year and a half after your main sequel come out? Like, really?
Because there was a story in the middle of the two that they wanted to tell. And I'm okay with that. That doesn't bother me.
That bothers me.
The only thing that irks me is that this collection feels incomplete in regards to the fact that if you're going to do this, let me have all three of them on the same platform. All prettied up and make it happen. That's one of those things that it bugs me to no end, and it irks the completionist in me. Mm-hmm. Because if I get it into a series, I want to be able to play the whole series or have the whole series on the same console.
I think that's probably why really, because I don't know anyone who picked up the BioShock collection. I don't know anyone picking up the Batman Arkham. I
actually have intentions of picking up the BioShock collection. It's on my list.
Well, the thing about it, I already own all three for the PS3, so I kind of don't really need it.
Got them all on my 360, but honestly, I would be perfectly happy to see them, prettied up and polished a little bit, and play through them on my Xbox One.
And go ahead.
I have no qualms about it. Plus, the BioShock collection is not a bad value either. You're getting 3 spectacular games for $60. That's $20 a head. And it's got all the content there to boot. All the extra downloadable content is all included. What's the issue? Why would you not grab that up?
I think because I own them for the past systems. And I played them all. And I guess it's just a world that I feel like I don't need to revisit or anything. Now, I would say if a good sale goes on them, because it's the holidays coming on, there are a lot of sales going on, like buy 2, get 1 free game. That's at Meyer this week. Buy 1, get 1 40% off. Just like, and then that, like, the kind of like
all the Black Friday ads are starting to leak out too, so.
Yeah.
You can catch those, all the obligatory places. IGN's usually really good at putting all that together.
And, well, I can say this, that for people who are rewards members at Toys R Us, I think a week before Black Friday or that week of Black Friday, you do get those sales. And they usually post that. So people who, because, like, I'll get an email showing what's going to be on Black Friday. I don't know what items are going to be on Black Friday. Nintendo hasn't even sent us anything yet. Because normally they do something for Black Friday. Like they'll do a special 3DS or something like that for Black Friday. And that's no secret or anything. A lot of people just know that when they go to a store, and even Nintendo just like, yeah, this is for Black Friday. This is a good deal and stuff.
I'm a little baffled, actually, that I haven't heard anything about any holiday bundles for the 3DS yet.
Yeah.
That boggles me, because normally, throughout October, you're hearing about the bundles that are coming, for the rest of the holiday season, and I haven't heard a damn thing. I got a friend of mine at work that, was asking about it, and I told him, I said, more than likely, throughout the course of the month, I'll hear something, and I'll let you know. And I've been watching, and there's nothing.
Yeah.
I'm really curious.
It I don't know if they're restructuring or they're still trying to work on Nintendo Switch. But yeah, I don't know anything about that just yet. I can say though that actually Wii U's have been selling.
Good. They should. Because I'm pretty sure what you're going to see is a bunch of people grabbing up Wii U's at holiday, looking for some decent deals and some decent bundles, going, I bought one when it first came out, I sold it, and Zelda's coming out, and I don't know that I want to invest in a Switch, but I can probably grab up a Wii U and a couple of games that I missed out on over the last year or so and revisit those while I'm waiting for Breath of the Wild, and just doing it that way. That's not a terrible thing either.
No. I just want both games.
I'm pretty sure that's what's happening.
Yeah, and of course, NES collection is going to be big.
Oh, God, yes.
Yeah. So
I'm curious as to whether or not they can actually keep up the supply with the demand, or if this is going to be an enormous issue and debacle this year. But only time will tell. The fact that nobody's doing pre-orders on this, which I know a bunch of people are bitching about, but frankly, I think it makes it easier for them. Just go, look, we're sending out everything we got. Best of luck. Later.
Yeah, well, we'll see in the coming weeks.
A bunch of people going to retailers going, you promised me, and then saying, well, look, this is what we were told originally that we were going to have, and this is what we ended up actually getting, and I have no control over that.
Well, this is the thing about it. With the quantity we get, we don't have no control over that. But we definitely can't hold one. Like, if you call, you better be like, do you guys have them? Like, we can have a few. Then you better be like, okay, and then be on your way. Or you need to not go to work and be at whatever retail store at the time that they open up. Because if you really want one, you're going to have to make a sacrifice to get one.
Yep.
And this is just big bank for Nintendo. I could just say that. So.
Oh yeah.
And people are picking up Xbox. I know people are picking up Xbox Ones, and maybe Sony might be selling more consoles now because they slowed down quickly. And I think that was one of the one problem with Sony with the PlayStation 4 is that they sold too much in the beginning and for a good while, and now that a lot of people have it, the momentum is slowed down. So it's just like, even with the Slim and with this Pro, it's going to be good for Christmas presents, but it's just like, I think everybody's going to probably be going to the other systems. Definitely with people who go get the NES, people who going to get the 3DS and stuff like that.
So,
and definitely for remasters, to get back on topic, DMC Devil May Cry and Tomb Raider Definitive Edition are such good games. I don't know if you played them, Larry.
Yeah, I played a little bit of like DMC 3 because my ex-wife was into it, and that was her thing, and we were married at the time that came out. But I was never big on Devil May Cry. It wasn't my cup of tea. But that being said, oh God, what was the other one you just mentioned? It went straight out of my head.
Tomb Raider. I think you would probably. I think since now that you got an Xbox One, if you could find a used copy for both games, I say invest in it. Like, DMC is really good. Like, story, action, it's not too hard to figure out. Tomb Raider Definitive Edition is such a great action game. Really good.
A Definitive Edition, that's just a remaster of the Tomb Raider that came out on 360, right?
Yes. With all the DLC and stuff. And it looks, graphically, it looks improved. So
that might be worth my time, because I liked what I played of that originally. So, but here's where I was looking to go with this. In terms of remasters and compilations, what games would you like to see remasters of brought to current gen, and what franchises out there would you like to see some compilation discs of that aren't out yet, or not even discs, but like, maybe it's a 2-3 disc set. That's fine. But what would you like to see that hasn't happened yet? Because I got one or two right off the top of my head.
Can I get a Beautiful Joe? I want a compilation. Beautiful Joe 1 and 2 compilation or HD remake. I want that so bad. Eternal Darkness needs a remake.
I would get behind both of those. Eternal Darkness could benefit greatly from coming up to the 1 and the 4.
Larry, I'm still hyped about the
Oh no, I know.
Oh, I'm still so. I was listening to last week's episode because I'm sorry, everybody. We'll get back into the question. I'm still so hyped about that. You literally don't know. After I thought about it, I was just like, I want this so much more.
So those I would absolutely get behind. I'd say I'm a little boggled that Pikmin never got a compilation, but I know why it didn't, and that's the end of that story. One that I mentioned, I touched on earlier, that I would love to see either just a compilation of, or ideally I would love to see a remastered compilation of it, would be the run of Dead Space games. I would love that put together. That I've kind of, especially for whatever reason, Recore is starting to make that itch happen again. I would love to revisit that and see that prettied up. And I mean, honestly, they still look great to go back to on the 360 and the PS3. And dear God, they still sound great because, oh my God, the sound design of those games were epic. But I'm seeing some merit in some of the remasters. That I could totally get behind it. In particular, one of the ones that sticks out to me, that I was playing the 360 version of Shadow Complex on my Xbox One and going, I like it. It still doesn't look bad, but I really want to spend $20 and get the remaster now because I'm pretty sure this would make it far more tolerable. It has shown its age some, and I think some of that comes from the fact that it is a 3D game. Mm-hmm.
I know.
But those are ones I would love to see.
I would love a Streets of Rage compilation. I would love kind of a Legend of Zelda compilation. I think I probably would love for it to go system by system. Even though I know the Super Nintendo really didn't get a sequel to it.
Super only got one.
Yeah, but I would love to have maybe the NES and Super Nintendo ones all together. All the Game Boys are together, all the Game Boy Advance ones together, the DS ones together, the GameCube ones all together, N64 ones together. I would kind of love to see that. Because I will rebuy Twilight Princess and Wind Waker, and I'm gonna be like, you know what? Have the international versions in it. Put the Japanese into it, and just make it look pretty.
So, I'm trying to think what else I would love to see kind of put together. And Left 4 Dead. Give me 1 and 2, pretty them up. Throw all the DLC in there, and let's throw them back on Xbox One and get that shit going again.
Yeah, I would pay $29.99 for that.
I would happily pay $50 for the two of them together. You would get your money's worth out of $50 for all that.
Well, yeah.
There was a lot of DLC, and between the two, there was a lot of campaigns to run through. And not to mention, just the replay value on those are tremendous. Not to mention, you could very easily revitalize that community that had that series running for so long. I would happily pay $50 for both of those with all the DLC and just a little bit of polish on it. That'd be fucking awesome.
Yeah, a Final Fantasy compilation will also work. Just something you just said something and I just lost my mind. I cannot think about it. Oh, dang it. What was that game? Goodness, I cannot think of it. Of course, I would love, Yoshi's Island to come back. Like make a compilation of that and the Yoshi's Island 64. I guess throw the DS ones also in. But the Super Nintendo regular Yoshi's Island, I would love to come back.
Speaking of some of the DS stuff, why the hell have we not slapped all three of the DS Castlevanias onto a 3DS cartridge and sold that yet?
Oh, goodness. Where do we even
Why? Because, oh my god, that would be the 3DS game that you could justify for $60.
Shoot. If we're going to do that, you might as well just give me the whole Contra franchise on one disc.
Yeah, no, that needs to happen on 3DS because you need Contra 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 4 was on the DS with that beautiful 2-screen setup.
But then I want the Sega Genesis version.
You can put those on there too.
No, the Legacy of War can stay off. That game was garbage. Or keep that as a bonus to unlock or something.
I mean, just like the mainstay Contras, 1, 2, 3, 4, put them on a 3DS cart and, sell it for $30. Done. And those, just given the pixel art nature, they don't need touched up. They don't need fixed. All you got to do is, put them on one cartridge and make somebody real happy. I'm going to, go with the obvious here. I would love to see all the numbered mainline Metroid games on one 3DS cart. Give me Zero Mission, 2, though I would flip my shit if you... We'll get back to that in a minute. Give me Zero Mission, give me Return of Samus, give me Super, and give me Fusion on one 3DS cart. Alternatively, you could bring that over to the Wii U, or at this point, the Switch, and give me Zero Mission, give me AM2R, and then give me Super, and then give me Fusion.
Fusion. Yeah, that I agree. I agree.
So, my only caveat to that is the simple fact that I really, really want to play Super Metroid in 3D on the 3DS. Because I love the layering in that game. Mm-hmm. It's already designed for it. All you got to do is just pull those layers apart and, assign them the correct depth and put it... I'll spend $40 for that 3DS cart for just Super Metroid in 3D. I will. But barring that, I would love to have all 4 of those on a 3DS cart. And there's no reason why that cannot happen.
I'll take Geometry Wars.
Oh, God, yes.
1 and 2. I've never got to play them, but they look super fun, and they look super good art-wise. I literally would pay them. Yeah. Pac-Man Championship Edition, I'm sorry to say this, everybody. That game is gorgeous and fun as ever.
I'm going to give you a piece of advice when it comes to Geometry Wars. Skip the first one. Instead, go get the Geometry Wars for the Wii. Instead of the first Geometry Wars on Live Arcade.
Yes.
Go get that instead. Galaxies. Galaxies was fucking super cool. It didn't have all the modes that the second one had, but what Galaxies had, though, was it had a couple mechanics and a couple things that the first one did not. The first of which being that you actually, instead of just the one rectangle stage, and that was it, you had a bunch of different shaped stages that had a few neat things in them. Like some of them had like gravity wells or like gravity sweeps that were really neat. But the more important was it had the drone, and the drone was really cool. And the drone never showed up in Geometry Wars 1 or 2. It was only in Galaxies, and you had this drone that would level up with 9 different behaviors. And it was actually really cool mechanic because depending on what you were playing, like which stage and which section, you'd find different drones that worked out better for you that would help you last longer. And the music in that was just phenomenal. It looked great. I wish it had been running on the Geo Wars 2 engine that looked that spectacular. And I'm a little bamboozled that Galaxies never made it off of a Nintendo console back over to the Xbox where it came from.
I wonder
that boggles my mind.
But see, I wonder if that was an exclusive deal. I wonder, Like,
it may have been. I'm just trying to figure out how it happened. It was so weird, but
shoot,
yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out the Kingdom Hearts situation. How in the heck is the main games on Sony? Or, well, I should rephrase that. How 3 of the games are on Sony. Well, the 2 main games are on Sony's platforms, but the whole series, majority of the series of Kingdom Hearts, is on Nintendo's platforms. That's
Because the whole thing is a clusterfuck, and because, let's be honest, Sony doesn't have a decent handheld to put out some of that shit on. They can't keep a handheld running to save their life.
I'm gonna take everybody back, and I would do an Outrun compilation. The game Outrun. That, and you might as well just throw on Hang On. Like, I would play those 2 games. Like, I would do a compilation of that. Ghouls and Ghosts, I don't want to commit seppuku, so I'm gonna hold that one off, because Ghouls and Ghosts is hard. Which I'm still boggled on how that game got ported over to the Sega Genesis. And I played that one before the Super Nintendo. Like, I could have beaten the one on the Sega Genesis, but I didn't know that when I got to the second part of replaying the whole game, I had to have the special weapon in order to beat it. I'm like, are you serious? And the special weapon is garbage. I guess the R-Type collection I would play.
The R-Type collection was great.
Before we even get to that discussion, can I please have a treasure compilation?
Oh my god, yes.
Radiant Silver Gun, Ikaruga, which we need to play at your house. I seen that copy.
Next time you're in, we're busting it out.
Oh.
So I'll tell you a fun Ikaruga story, because you know that game is made to be played long-wise.
Yeah.
You know. So, a number of years ago, I was frequenting at a tattoo shop that my old roommate worked at the time, and I was his ride, and so I spent considerable amount of time just, wasting time there. And so I brought my GameCube in, and there was an
yes.
Well, at one point the HDTV wasn't actually attached to anything. I got bored, so I said, fuck it. I'm finally going to get to play this game the right way. So I spun the HDTV on its side and hooked up the GameCube just so I could play Ikaruga lengthwise. Just once.
See, and that's why I call you my brother. Like, literally, like, I know that me and your parents are not related, but you are literally my brother, and I love you so much. Oh my goodness, yes.
So yeah, that happened. But no, like you said, there's a few things that I wouldn't mind seeing, revisited, polished up, and then re-put out in a compilation. But that's one of the things that set me off was, I'm not going to bitch because it's free games, but why couldn't they just put all 3 Borderlands games together? Yeah. Why? Because at this point, there is no Xbox One native version of the original Borderlands, unless I'm missing something.
There's none. Borderlands is only for PS3 and 360, and that's it. There's no remake. There's no kind of remake or remaster or anything for that one. If you
like Borderlands, I do. It's not particularly intelligent, but it's fun.
Yeah. Shoot 'em up, bang bang with role playing game mechanics.
Yeah. It was funny. It had a great sense of humor. It did. One of my favorite lines from that game, and it came out of one of the DLC packs, will forever be that redneck character whose name escapes me going, "Sweet cinnamon titty baby Jesus." That wonderful southern hillbilly redneck voice of his. Oh my god, that was a great line. I remember nearly shitting myself laughing when I heard that, because I was not expecting it.
And he ends up getting killed, though. I think. In that game.
What was it, Scooter or whatever the fuck his name was?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because he ran all the automobile stations.
Oh, no, Scooter didn't get killed. And Borderlands 2, no, Scooter didn't get killed.
I haven't played 2 yet, actually. I'm a horrible person. I haven't played it, but it's on the to-do list. I think when I finish Recore, the next one on my list is going to be Transformers Devastation, because that was one of the ones that Michael gave to me as well, along with the Xbox One, and I want to play the fuck out of it.
I have that one for PS4.
That brings me to the other thing that really brought up the remasters and compilations thing is my copy of Transformers, the movie 30th Anniversary Edition Steelbook case came in the mail the other day. And oh my god, it's so fucking good.
So jealous.
It's so good.
Literally jealous. Because I can't get into Friday I get paid again so I can order it. Because can I tell you, when I first got my DVD player, and I spent like $200 some bucks for my DVD player. The first movie I got was Transformers, anniversary. I think it was the 20th anniversary or something like that. It might have been earlier. But they have finally brought the Transformer movie to DVD. That was the first movie I put
on. Which, God, that got expensive too. Like, I've been watching that for the last couple of years because I wanted to pick up another copy because I had one and it disappeared years upon years ago. And, copies of that were going for like $100 fucking bucks.
Oh yeah.
Like, god damn it. So, but I have my Steelbook case now on Blu-ray and it's so pretty. I was watching the little documentary retrospective thing on it too. And when you see the original next to the work that they did on this, it's jaw-droppingly gorgeous. But it was done from a 4K transfer, and what you find out when you watch like some of the special features is that they're taking the original film reel and actually scanning it in 6K and then toning it back to 4K.
Wow.
One animation cell at a time.
Are you serious? That had to take months.
Like, you could see it on the spool. Like, one frame, click. Next frame, click. Next frame, click. And it, like I said, it's scanning it all in at 6K, and then they're going in and, fixing shit that was on there, correcting colors and, like, blemishes and dirt on the film, and then scaling it back to 4K to put out.
But it's in regular Blu-ray, right? It's not 4K
yeah,
Blu-ray?
It's on standard Blu-ray, but it was all done from a massive, 6K and a 4K transfer.
Dang, I didn't even know they did 6K. That's crazy.
It was awesome. You really, aside from just, little details, like the scene where Megatron becomes Galvatron and he's all, done in grid, and the line work looks so perfect for the first time. It's genuinely better than the original theatrical release because they can get more of the original artwork in, what the artist did versus what came across on the big screen originally, and more of the fine line detail and depth than was ever there originally, to be able to be seen just by means of what they had out. But just the animation looks so smooth, it's so clean. They cleaned it beautifully. Like I said, they're showing, they're talking about, going through, frame by frame, looking for any dirt that was on the film, that got caught in the transfer, and running it through algorithms and programs to fix one frame at a time of, correcting for things that got on there during the scan process and everything to make it perfect. And it was perfect.
And that's why I asked you, I'm like, when did they announce this? I had no notice that they announced it. And plus, I was kind of mad because I couldn't come to your house to come watch the movie. Yes, I was just like, if I was able just to make this drive to come see this.
So yeah, that happened. And then on top of that, I was watching it in 3D.
Amazing. But everybody, that is going to be our show. I do have to give you guys heads up. Next week we will not have a show, but we'll try to come and do something and probably record a later day within that week so that we do give you guys a show because I will be out of town.
We have a show next week.
Huh?
Why the fuck don't we have a show next week?
I'm going to be in Milwaukee next week. and I'm going to
Better be drinking, fool.
I have this thing next week. That's why I said probably another day. During next week, we could probably record more information will come out or news stories. We'll have I guess, a regular episode.
I got something in mind. We'll work it out.
Yes. And I actually forgot to mail you. Just be like, Larry, you want to do today's show? And I never sent it to you. So,
I got a couple days off coming up this week. We can work something in.
Okay. Yeah. As long as you get the show together and whatever you want to talk about will be all gravy. But that is our show. Larry, where can we find you?
Most importantly, our Facebook page. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Keep an eye out there. I do like to post up some free shit once in a while. First for Figures, who makes incredibly ungodly expensive video game statues, but they're so good, and I am forever ashamed of myself because they have several Metroid ones that I do not have because they're expensive, but I want. But that's besides the point. They've got a bunch of giveaway contests going on, including one. They got license rights to do some awesome Shovel Knight stuff. They're doing some Soul Calibur 2 stuff. I believe they're giving
yes,
Calibur 2 Nightmare statue from their collection when that comes out. And it's a long process between when they announce the statue and it actually releases. But it's amazing work what they do. Beyond that, like I said, whenever I see a decent sale or a free game out there, I will post it, which is why, some of you managed to get a hold of the Handsome Collection for free over the past week, because that was spotted and resent out for you guys. So little things here and there. Every once in a while, I see a particularly well-written, thought-out article that I will stick up there as well. I know I've said it before. Keep your eyes peeled and bring your friends along, because coming in 2017, you're going to start seeing the Facebook page growing with more and more content. As things settle down for the three of us, you're going to see some more original written content, possibly some more original video content. That shit all needs to be hashed out, but it will come throughout the year of 2017, and with enough growth, there might be bigger things on the horizon. But for that to happen, we need to definitely get a handle on what the size of the listenership is and what the audience is, and make sure that the audience is there to support it, to make sure there's a demand to support what we want to do. Because without that, it can't happen.
And I know we did get questions asked for this episode. Sorry, guys, that we didn't address them, because I want Adrian to actually be on the show also, so that we can address your guys' questions. So we will do that. But thank you again, guys. Thank you, guys.
Adrian's busy vomiting maple.
Yes, Adrian Nieto.
Maple syrup is going everywhere and like dribbling out of his fucking nose and shit.
Wow.
That's what a sick Canadian looks like, kids.
Adrian participated in the Extra Life event in Canada, so congratulations to him. He did 30 hours worth of playing video games and making donations for the kids. And we here at World 101, we do want to congratulate everyone who did participate in Extra Life. So great job, everyone. You guys did a fantastic job of raising money for the charities that you guys were doing it for. So we just want to congratulate you. You can find me on Twitter at ThatBretcherCode, and you can find my podcast, Optional Opinion, on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, the AnomalousRadioNetwork.podbean.com. I do have a new episode up there, so do check that out. You can check more of World 101 podcast at iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, other podcast apps, but do go to archive.org where we post the episode first. And you guys check it out, and if you like what you hear,
is done vomiting tacos, I will eventually talk to him about getting our iTunes feed fixed so that there is a separate iTunes feed for just this show. It's not strung into the rest of Eddie's crap.
Hey, my stuff is not crap.
That makes me feel better with the Sesame Street song. One of these things is... So to explain this real quick, my wedding party was fucking enormous. There were like 7 people on each side, 7 bridesmaids, 7 groomsmen, all of them white as all can be, and then there's fucking Eddie, black as night, and we're all just looking at it going, one of these things is not like the others. And it took him a minute to realize what had happened. He's like, son of a bitch.
And I fell out laughing. And I love everybody in the wedding party. I had such a good time. Duke is amazing. I love Duke and Logan. I love those two are amazing. I love Scott and everybody else. Like everybody who was there in the party, I actually love and respect. And so down to earth. Like the laughs were so on point.
I was, like I said, I know Michael was looking forward to finally getting to meet you. Like I said, he's been a big on board with this show, and he's done some very wonderful things for me over the last several months, and I've known him for fucking ever.
Oh,
I love that. So I know he was excited to get to finally actually meet you, because he didn't get to make it to my birthday party back in August either, because shit happened. But but yeah, that was that was a good time to be had.
Yes. I'm in the Rosa Parks as
drag your ass to the back of the bus, motherfucker.
And like I said, I'm like, look, I don't have my wig on me right now. Yeah, once again, Larry, thank you. But that's going to do it, everybody. Like I said, today was complete roundtable of randomness. I kind of enjoyed this. We normally talk like this.
I know I called it a bedlam, and I realized, you know what? I don't like that term as much as the term mattress lamb. Or no, mattress sheep. Instead of bedlam, it's mattress sheep.
I love that.
Not bedlam, it's mattress sheep now.
I love that. So, you know that Larry comes with these great titles, besides the one title that I couldn't use.
There was 2 now. But only one of them actually got hooked up by SoundCloud. The other one you just got all about.
Because I couldn't use that.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Go back and fix it right now.
I can't.
Hooray for domestic abuse.
And with that,
for the record, the other one that SoundCloud actually said, no, you can't have that, was the Nintendo Switch episode. So for anyone that picked it up on SoundCloud, iTunes, or anywhere but Archive where the actual name is intact, the original name of that episode was Nintendo is into BDSM, and for some reason, apparently, BDSM got hung up on SoundCloud. They wouldn't allow it. I'm like, really? Why? It's not implying anything sexually. It's just the term. I'm sorry, the term exists. So, but at that point, I was absolutely bamboozled by that fact. So...
And
yeah, if you ever wonder, if there's any differences, and you want to see what the original source material looks like, you need to start sourcing into the archive site, because the archive.org site is where I post everything direct from when I finish editing it, including all the absurd and offensive episode titles that come out of my brain that, result of these shows.
And the sad thing about it is, I'm not surprised about any of it. I kind of expect it. But when I seen that one, I was just like, wait, what? And I tried to, I'm like, okay, this one I could put in. That's fine. And when SoundCloud wouldn't let me put it in, I'm just like, oh, wow. And it was weird because I'm like, I love Nintendo, but this title is completely funny. I literally, when I got the file back, I fell out laughing. I literally fell out laughing. I'm just like, I love him so much. But you guys can also email the show at world11podcast@gmail.com. WORLD11PODCAST@gmail.com. We're just a bunch of professionals, train breaker professionals. We're trying to track off our adulthood, but most of the time we're just, I guess, a mess.
So yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
So everybody have a great week, have a great weekend, and we will see you later. Bye.
Good night.